El agua, pucha. Uy, marica. Uy.
Mire.
Ay, lo que queramos.
¿Por qué se metió el agua en la casa?
Espera. Dale, dale, dale.
No, pero no.
No pudimos hacer más nada.
Heavy rains that have continued to pound southern Colombia in recent days have caused extensive flooding in the city of Montecristo. Local authorities have declared a state of emergency following the overflowing of a major river, inundating residential areas, agricultural land, and several public facilities. As much as 95% of MontecristoBolívar is reportedly flooded due to ongoing heavy rains, with impacts extending to the towns of Villa Urbe, Regencia, and San Agustín, as well as surrounding rural areas. The floodwaters have covered residential areas, public facilities, and agricultural land, paralyzing community activities and forcing some residents to evacuate to safer areas. The local government has declared a state of emergency and accelerated disaster management efforts.
Sigue lloviendo aún.
Montecristo, in the department of Bolívar, Colombia, is facing one of the worst weather emergencies in its recent history. Torrential rains that lasted more than 12 hours, exacerbated by the overflowing of at least 3 rivers, have almost completely submerged the town. Currently, more than 90% of the urban area is flooded, with serious consequences. Streets have turned into rivers, and homes are flooded up to their roofs. In addition to the damage to homes, the floods have destroyed crops, road infrastructure, schools, and the local hospital, where medical personnel were only able to salvage some of their equipment. Initial estimates indicate that more than 1,000 families have been affected, but the number could rise as the investigation continues. Local authorities have declared a state of maximum alert, while residents have been forced to evacuate and take shelter in schools and higher ground. The Bolívar provincial government has launched a humanitarian operation, distributing food packages, blankets, and emergency equipment. Emergency interventions have also been launched to clear clogged drains, while the situation in Montecristo, southern Bolívar, is becoming increasingly dire due to the massive flooding that has inundated almost the entire region. Affected residents have been forced to flee to schools and hilly areas in search of safer places, as rising water levels inundate communities and disrupt daily activities.
En lo alto del colegio, ahora se van a montar para el segundo piso. Mira, lamentable la situación. Y hay Johnson subiendo para el cerro, recogiendo gente, subiendo para el cerro, para el colegio. Oye, qué situación lamentable.
The situation has worsened due to the continuous rainfall recorded in recent hours. Last week, flash floods partially inundated the municipality. Although water levels have begun to recede, recent rains have revived the risk of further flooding. From the integrated command post, rainfall and river levels are being monitored continuously, while progress is being made in assessing damage and identifying affected families. Authorities confirmed that emergency response measures are underway, including coordinating humanitarian assistance, verifying high-risk areas, and activating contingency plans in anticipation of a possible worsening of the weather. The Bolívar provincial government issued an urgent appeal to the public to heed official recommendations, avoid traveling through flooded areas, and report any emergencies to relief agencies. The Integrated Command Post, PMU, will remain active and operational continuously as long as the threat of rain persists in the southern part of the department. To coordinate the emergency response to the flooding that hit Montecristo in southern Bolívar in recent hours, Governor Yamil Arana Padawi led the activation of the Integrated Command Post, PMU. The rain that has been falling since last night, Thursday, in Montecristo has not stopped. So we've taken action. Everyone who can make decisions quickly and effectively is in this PMU, said Governor Arana Padawi. Floodwater continues to flow in the area around the Francia farm, about 2 kilometers from Monteria, with floodwaters reaching 40 to 50 centimeters deep, hampering residents' activities and threatening surrounding agricultural land. Following the sudden rise in water levels in the Regencia district, Montecristo municipality, the Municipal Risk Management Council is actively assessing conditions on the ground and conducting a census to identify families affected by the flooding. The central office explained that they have a permanent emergency plan in place that includes an early warning system, intensive communication with community leaders, and the activation of sirens in riverside residential areas, with signals controlled directly from the control room to alert the public to potential rising water levels. According to reports from disaster management authorities, extreme rainfall triggered a significant increase in water levels, inundating hundreds of homes. Many residents were forced to evacuate to safer places after the water level reached nearly 1 meter in several densely populated areas. In addition to damaging infrastructure, the flooding also impacted transportation access and logistics distribution. Several main roads were reportedly cut off, while the electricity network was disrupted due to flooding and landslides in the hilly areas around Montecristo. The local government, along with rescue teams, continues to evacuate and distribute emergency aid, including food, clean water, and health services to affected residents. The public is advised to remain vigilant, as weather forecasts indicate the potential for heavy rains to continue for the next few days. To date, there have been no official reports of casualties. However, authorities emphasized that emergency response efforts will continue to be intensified to minimize the further impact of the hydrometeorological disaster.
Sigue lloviendo aún.